I've been working on something about this moon and the lies they've told. I want you guys to give me your plain opinion. Flat Earth or globe? Is there space? Are there stars out there? This is what the experts tell us. Oh, I'm sorry, not the experts, but those that been there. Those that been there that are not dead yet. Those that been there that are in seclusion. And those that don't want to hold the secrets anymore, that's trying to tell it all. Let's see how this goes.
As it is when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the Moon, the Earth is the only visible object other than the Sun that can be seen, although there have been some reports of seeing planets. I myself did not see planets from the surface, but I suspect they might be visible. The Earth is quite beautiful from space, and from the Moon. It looks quite small and quite remote, but it's very blue and covered with white lace and the clouds, and the continents are clearly seen, although they have very little color from that distance.
I want you guys to tell me, what do you think of this?
To the moonwalk, the astronauts flipped their wrist-mounted checklists to their next task. They opened an unlikely page, placed there by the Apollo 12 backup crew.
Did that look funny?
This little prank hardly distracted. Conrad, Bean, and the other astronauts of Apollo will go down in history as the first to step off our planet. 4 moon landings later, the program
They was the first to step off the planet? Wow.
Social discord. And other astronauts of Apollo
I gotta hear that again.
will go down in history as the first to step off our planet. 4 moon landings later, the program faded away in the wake of declining expectations, social discord, and the politics of those turbulent times.
They riding on the moon?
The incredible journey of Apollo 12 lives on as a symbol for those who may one day revive the instinct to travel beyond our planet.
Making jokes,
In search
having
of
fun.
clues to the origins of our
Looking
world
at soft porn in the
and our
manifest.
place in the cosmos.
Enough lies. From that little clip I just showed you, it's like, who is filming them? You see the 2 men there, but who is the man behind the camera? Considering that there's a man, an astronaut that's still on a spaceship that is hovering over the moon from where they landed. But this look like it's very close up. Like, who is recording them? Here's another one.
He changed the course of his own life forever.
For someone to be able to do that in their life
That's his brother.
and experience it.
But what I want you to see is the footprint.
Touch down and walk
Look at that.
on another surface is overwhelming.
That sort of caught me by surprise, really, when I realized that being #1 on the moon was going to be a really, really big deal. Now the world held its breath as Armstrong and Aldrin entered the lunar module, leaving Mike Collins behind.
And Armstrong and Aldrin within the limb and will be there for the next 30 hours or so.
It was a
For
3-man.
the astronauts' families,
Man.
it was a nerve-wracking experience.
Shit.
Within our homes during flight, we had air-to-ground
2 went into the module
from the squawk box
and went to the moon, and the other one stayed up in space. think that's what they're saying.
Chances of 100% success.
He remained in lunar orbit.
50-50.
Mike Collins, this guy right here.
had few doubts about each other.
That was a good read back, Bud.
I never really had any thought that Neil might have some hesitation about
Buzz.
anything.
Looking at their trajectory, the bottom fell out. We started having communication problems, data drop out.
Eagle Bucket. I'm reading loud and scratchy. Neil's not coming through too well on his phone.
Then as they descended towards the surface, the main computer began to raise a series of alarms.
Neither of us knew.
Again, all I want to know is who is filming this.
Answer. But it was in a document.
Or is this made in one of those Hollywood studios?
Read through it.
Just like his movie, The Story of Neil Armstrong, was made.
But there's a bunch of guys back.
Armstrong, he didn't want any publicity because he knew it was a lie. That man hid himself from the world just so he wouldn't have to lie anymore.
We're going that flight. We're going that line.
And this is the most famous part of this. Okay, like real quick. This is one of the pictures of Neil Armstrong and Buzz landing on the moon. You know how these pictures are fake anyway. But anyway, if this is the real picture of them landing on the moon, where are the stars? See that black space? That's outer space. Where are the stars? We already understand that the sun is on the other side of this rover here. That's why you see a little shadow. But where are the stars? Now, if you listen carefully, this will really entertain you. Really entertain you.
And you are holding on with one hand, one link to the other 7 billion people. And I was outside of my first...
Did you hear what he said? Unvulnerable darkness. Okay.
Hard, and it was damn hard.
Hubble will far surpass all ground-based telescopes for one simple reason: Earth's atmosphere.
If you...
The atmosphere, the star is not changing. It's not changing. Okay, family. I want you to listen to the scientists as they talk about the Hubble. Because it's hard. And it was damn hard. Damn hard to do what? Look at this. Stars in the sky.
Hard, and it was damn hard.
Hubble will far surpass all ground-based telescopes for one simple reason: Earth's atmosphere.
If you look up at the night sky, the stars are going to appear like they're twinkling. But the star is not changing. What's happening is that the same kind of irregularities in the atmosphere that you encounter when you get turbulence in an airplane, it's all over the place. Now, the solution to that is put a telescope above the atmosphere.
But unlike...
Look up at
Listen.
the night sky.
Listen.
They're twinkling. But the star is not changing. What's happening is that the same kind of irregularities in the atmosphere that you encounter when you get turbulence in an airplane, it's all over the place. Now, the solution to that is put a telescope above the atmosphere.
Earth atmosphere.
But unlike ground telescopes, Hubble would be orbiting the Earth at an astonishing speed of almost 5 miles per second.
Look at this.
And that's a problem.
No stars.
Now, of course, the Hubble is this thing in space moving thousands and thousands of miles an hour in orbit, and which means its natural tendency is that it's going to be tumbling end over end. It's doing everything but holding still.
The Hubble is out of control. It's out of control. It's flying all over the atmosphere.
Same issue with Hubble.
The team must find a way.
Next, I want you to see how they play the blame game for billions.
If it's out of focus, we drive the stepping motor in this direction until it's in perfect focus, so no big deal.
Charlie becomes convinced all that's needed is a technical adjustment. He leaves for a trip overseas. When he returns, he calls his boss to check in.
So he comes on the phone and says, "Charlie, where are you?" I said, "I'm in the Red Carpet Lounge in St. Louis Airport." And he says to me, "What do you know about spherical aberration?" And I said, "Well, all I know is that when people, amateurs typically, make a telescope mirror by hand and they do it sloppily, then the telescope's useless." I said, "Well, I'm glad you know that, because you launched Hubble Space Telescope with a spherically aberrated mirror." I said, "Did not?" He said, "Did so." This is 2 PhDs, right? And he says, "Go find the front page of any national newspaper and bring it back and read it to me." So I come back and upload the fold. National disaster. Hubble launch was flawed mirror. And he says, "Now what do you say?" I said, "You guys are good. How did you get a fake newspaper into this very lounge that I'm landing in?"
The headline is no fake. Charlie has launched Hubble with a fatal flaw, and not the one he had feared.
Somebody got to account for those billions.
Admitted that its multi-billion-dollar eye in the sky has developed blurry vision.
We had failed in the most visible possible thing we'd done in many, many years. I'd have to say it was like a family member died. It was like that. I mean, it really was.
Billions of dollars just to stay in our atmosphere.
Will not be sending back the
But with Hubble already in space,
so they gave the Hubble some glasses. The Hubble,
and her fellow
some glasses.
Must risk their own safety.
Can't make this up.
From disaster.
NASA, you can't make this up. Okay, so now this woman is saying that the Hubble has shown us the past and how the universe evolved.
Sample and taste everything that you want to. It amazes me the power of something where you are guaranteed to discover something new about the universe. The universe is a pretty big place, so you need a telescope that can see very, very far away to even start to get a handle on how the universe is changing over time, when it began. In the case of the Hubble Space Telescope, the Hubble Space Telescope has the power to see on the order of 11 billion light years away, and that means you're seeing things as they were 11 billion years ago. All of a sudden now, you have a ringside seat to watch the entire universe evolve and change in front of you. You can see how fast things were expanding, how that whole process worked. And so for the first time we knew that the universe really is about 13.8 billion years. We know how fast it expanded. There are very few times in history where you can just take new technology and discover something new, guaranteed. In the case of the Hubble Space Telescope, you could point it somewhere random, and you would see stars and galaxies and objects out there that had never been seen before. How many galaxies are out there? This was something that we wondered, there were theories about, but the Hubble Space Telescope really showed us how many galaxies there are. Hubble actually looked at a blank part of the sky, a part of the sky that we didn't think anything was there, and it stared at that place for a month. And
all suns
of the star not only
that they showing us
its hourglass shape, it is heating it up to temperatures of 10,000 degrees Celsius. The star's radiation excites the gas, making it glow like a fluorescent light bulb. A star is born when pressure and heat in its core cause hydrogen gas to undergo nuclear fusion. The heat generated by this process pushes outward, countering the inward pull of gravity. From the violence of their birth, most stars spend their lives shining in relative peace, gradually using up the hydrogen fuel that makes up their cores. Smaller, cooler stars are incredibly efficient. the mass of our sun, can burn for 10 trillion years, almost 1,000 times the current age of the universe. By comparison, larger, hotter stars like our sun burn more quickly. At about 5 billion years old, our own sun has gone through half its expected lifespan. The sun will grow steadily hotter, causing it to swell into a so-called red giant. When the sun does this, it will destroy the inner planets of the solar system.
Okay, pause. All right. So, if this is true, how do they know when the sun will explode? If they're saying it already surpassed half its life expectancy. This is still from this telescope called the Hubble. That's leading into the sun semi-documentary that I'm trying to do.